Hello, I'm State Representative Jim Christiana. Unfortunately, we are nearing 100 days without a state budget, and Pennsylvanians are beyond frustrated. As your representative and one of Pennsylvania's elected officials, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your frustration. All 203 members in the House, all 50 members in the Senate, and the governor are to blame for this situation. And at a minimum, we all owe you an apology. This budget impasse is strikingly similar to the first year when I came to Harrisburg as a state representative. That's when Governor Rendell went 100 days without a budget. And in fact, under Governor Rendell, he went 8 straight years with late budgets. So I can't help but worry that Harrisburg may be returning to the days of Ed Rendell. I think it's important for all of you to know how we got to this point and what's the plan moving forward to a quick resolution. And believe it or not, after Ed Rendell left office, Harrisburg actually did its constitutional duty by passing 4 straight on-time budgets. Pennsylvania had 4 on-time budgets in a row that didn't raise taxes and made record investments in our public education system. Then this year, on June 30th, the House and the Senate passed a 5th on-time budget. A budget which spent $30 billion of our taxpayer money into a myriad of programs and services. Unfortunately, Governor Wolf vetoed that entire budget, even though the funding amounts of 60% of the programs were at the same amount as his proposal. That decision left Pennsylvania without a state budget. His veto has put our schools, our human service organizations, which help our most vulnerable people, it put them without funding and in dire financial straits. Now we are facing crisis centers and food pantries that are closing. Nonprofits are being forced to turn away clients, and schools might soon close their doors to our students. Take a second and think about that. Because of us, politicians in Harrisburg, our schools may close. To me and to most Pennsylvanians, that's completely unconscionable. As a member of the General Assembly, we have continued to try multiple ways to make sure that your tax dollars are returned to schools in our communities. Since Governor Wolf's veto on June 30th, the House and the Senate have tried to fund those vital programs where we and the governor agree on the amount. We've tried to fund them, but we've been unsuccessful. Additionally, just last week, the House and the Senate sent the governor an emergency spending proposal so that while we work out a long-term budget solution, our schools won't have to close and your services don't have to stop. However, the governor vetoed the emergency spending proposal as well. By vetoing that emergency spending bill, Governor Wolf has cut the lifeline for struggling schools and people in desperate need of our programs, like rape crisis centers and domestic violence shelters. They have all been cut off from state funding. And in my opinion, the governor is putting his demands for an $8 billion tax hike ahead of the well-being of the people he is supposed to be serving. Implementing this emergency funding plan was our best option to help fund our schools and our human service organizations that are being hit hard by the loss of state funds. This was an opportunity to keep that money flowing back to our communities while we forge a compromise. But Governor Wolf is still focused on just one thing, his political agenda. That's it. And this is proven by his own words, like when he said, quote, "I asked them to figure out how to pay for the things I want." And then he said, "I want to keep the pressure up." And just recently he said, "I want to fight." And those aren't comments taken out of context, folks. They are direct responses to questions from the media about why he vetoed our budget, why he vetoed our emergency funding bill, and why he rejected our compromise. Governor Wolf said in his budget address on March 30th, he said, "If you don't agree with my ideas, here's my request. Please come with your ideas." Yet today the governor says, if you don't like my ideas, then let's fight. That's not the type of executive leadership we should expect under Governor Wolf. Rightfully, Pennsylvanians are ready for this fight to end. Instead of working with us to reach common goals, the governor is working to create a Washington-style executive versus legislative battle. That dysfunction is unacceptable, and I will not be a part of it. So I caution my colleagues to not take the governor's bait and to give up on production conversation for his fight. I'm thankful to hear that Republican leadership in the House and in the Senate will give the governor's $8 billion tax increase yet another vote next week. I'm not excited because I want to vote for that, but I'm excited that the governor will hopefully realize that the members of the General Assembly and the overwhelming majority of our citizens who sent us all here to do a job, they don't support his tax increase. And I also want to assure the taxpayers of the 15th District, and all of Pennsylvania for that matter, that I remain committed to serving the needs of Pennsylvania citizens while being mindful of the families who ultimately pay the bill. Thank you for watching.